Hi everyone, this is Dylan from Jiu-Jitsu and Judo Athletic Training. Today we're just going to talk about tart cherry, or Prunus cerasus. Tart or sour cherries are distinctly different than sweet cherries, and are a rich source of polyphenols, which are responsible for a number of the health benefits associated with consuming plants. Tart cherry is claimed to aid in exercise performance, cardiovascular health, and have a number of effects on the brain. Here's what I was able to actually find and what the data says. Tart cherry has a high number of polyphenols, antioxidants, and anti-inflammatory properties, and is believed to impact exercise performance and recovery. One group measured pain threshold, limb girth, flexibility, muscle function, and some markers of inflammation and damage after a repeat sprint protocol in physically active females. Of these, only counter movement jump height, which is a type of vertical jump test, was significantly different when compared to placebo. Basically, this study showed an increased muscle function recovery after sprint. A different group investigated the effects of tart cherry on nitric oxide biomarkers, vascular function, and exercise performance in trained cyclists before each of 2 moderate or severe intensity cycling bouts. The authors found an increase in work output during exercise, about 10%, and a decrease in systolic blood pressure, 1.5 hours post-exercise, when compared to placebo. They concluded that acute supplementation with tart cherry can lower blood pressure and improve exercise performance in trained cyclists. In order to elucidate the mechanism by which tart cherry is increasing muscle recovery, one group investigated muscle protein synthesis rates in response to exercise. They looked specifically in older men and found no significant changes in muscle protein synthesis with tart cherry supplementation. If tart cherry isn't affecting protein synthesis, it may be a lack of exercise-associated pain that permits one to work harder the day after exercise. One group looked at this response in prolonged intermittent exercise and found tart cherry to decrease delayed onset muscle soreness and reduce certain inflammatory markers. Likewise, others have found tart cherry to reduce muscle soreness markers of catabolism, and inflammatory stress after exercise. This is further evidence that tart cherry might be curbing the next day sore feeling associated with exercise, also known as delayed onset muscle soreness. In 2010, a research team looked at the effects of tart cherry on marathon runners and found it to aid the recovery after exercise by increasing antioxidant levels and reducing inflammation. Additionally, supplementation prior to strenuous exercise seems to help minimize muscle pain associated with exercise, again attributed to the increased antioxidant levels after ingestion. Although there isn't very much molecular work in the sports science field and the mechanism is still unclear, tart cherry from an outcomes perspective on human subjects does seem to aid in the recovery process of muscles after exercise. A group from the University of Michigan looked at the inhibitory effects of tart cherry on enzymes related to type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. The data is pretty believable and shows tart cherry to inhibit several key enzymes in carbohydrate metabolism and inflammation. This is an interesting effect for tart cherry to have because it may prevent glucose spikes after meals and lower the risk of hypertension. In relation to the elderly population, Dr. Jung's group found tart cherry to lower LDL and total cholesterol. Again, this hints that tart cherry may be a metabolic and cardioprotective agent. Tart cherry was found to reduce systolic blood pressure in men with early hypertension. There is no clear consensus, however, as the data on vascular function is mixed. Another study shows tart cherry supplementation not to improve arterial stiffness, C-reactive protein, and risk factors for cardiovascular disease, including high systolic blood pressure in healthy adults. From an antioxidant and inflammation perspective, tart cherry was found to decrease adipose inflammation and improve drug sensitivity. From an antioxidant and inflammation perspective, tart cherry was found to decrease adipose inflammation and improve drug sensitivity. One group found tart cherry to reduce some markers of metabolic syndrome and proposed that supplementation could help decrease the risk of type 2 diabetes. Given the high amount of antioxidant and anti-inflammatory activity tart cherry has, it is no surprise people suspect it can alter the aging process. Data suggests tart cherry can improve the antioxidant capacity of older individuals and therefore reduce oxidative damage. In rats, tart cherry supplementation can help to suppress inflammation-induced pain behavior and increases in antioxidant activity. The antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects of tart cherry seem to aid in symptom relief for patients with mild to moderate knee osteoarthritis and protect against colon cancer. The effects of tart cherry on sleep have also been explored to some detail. One group found tart cherry to increase sleep time and quality, improve tryptophan availability, and reduce inflammation in insomnia patients over 50. Further, one group has found tart cherry to increase exogenous melatonin levels and believes this is the mechanism by which tart cherry can improve sleep quality. In aged rats, supplementation seems to improve working memory, reduce hippocampal inflammation, and improve hippocampal autophagy function. Another group investigated the effects tart cherry can have on microglial cells, which are resident macrophages in the central nervous system. They found it to reduce inflammation signaling and oxidative stress-mediated signaling in this cell population. Therefore, it may promote healthy neural aging and delay the onset of neurodegenerative diseases. A similar study in middle-aged humans found tart cherry not to improve cognitive performance or mood, but did find it to lower systolic blood pressure. Please refer to the studies I have cited for specifics on dosages. But overall, it should be noted that tart cherry is considered safe even at high amounts. These were the references I used for this presentation, image URLs, and thanks for watching. This is Dylan from Jiu-Jitsu and Judo Athletic Training. Hopefully you've learned a little bit more about tart cherry.